Hi, this is Charlie Mato-Toyela with another video from bluebearflutes.com. This video is just meant for you beginners out there, the ones of you that are wondering, am I doing something right here or what? What we want to talk about are some of the good habits to get into when you're just starting out playing the Native American flute. And these habits are ones that if you continue with them over time, you will develop some excellent flute playing skills. So to start off, I'm leaning back kind of comfortable here, but in order to play like any instrument, it's best if you sit up straight and with good posture, preferably on the edge of your seat. But if you're standing already, you're in good shape. I mean, that's really probably one of the best positions to be playing the flute in. The next thing, you want to learn how to hold your flute without fingers covering the holes. And the easiest way to do this is by putting the fingers near the holes and just pretend like you're holding the holes but not covering any of them. When you first get in touch with a new flute, whether you're a beginning flute player or if this is just the first time you've played this particular flute and you've got 100, it's always best, in my opinion, if you start out on the top note first. The top note, the highest note, is almost always accomplished in most wind instruments by uncovering all the holes. So, and that's the top note. You take a deep breath and you exhale slowly through the flute. I don't feel like I'm running out of air. I don't feel unsure of what it is I'm doing. When you take a deep breath like that, you actually have all the air you need to play a frame or a measure or an idea, as we talked in our secret flute playing. This idea, this music that comes out, you'll probably run out of ideas before you do air if you sit up straight, take a deep breath. So good habits to get into. Something else you might want to do, or at least consider doing, all of us that had to go through band in school, we all had to do this, so it's okay if you do it. You don't have to feel silly. But if you practice in front of a mirror, mirrors sometimes help you see what maybe a teacher could see when they're looking at you, but you wouldn't see because you were from a different angle. So if you watch yourself in the mirror, the one thing that'll really help is it'll show you your posture, of course, but it'll show you whether you have your fingers completely covering a hole or not. If you notice, those two fingers are not covering the holes completely, and that would be a problem because it would make a really foul sound. You want to completely cover the fingerings. It's best if you don't clamp down really tight, but you do need to make sure that you have your fingers firmly on the holes, preferably so that you can feel the fingerings underneath of your holes, or underneath of your fingers, I'm sorry. But you want to be able to feel that comfortably and know that the holes are covered completely. So let's take just a chance to start at the top of the scale. We're going to go down and then we're going to work our way back up, and let's see what it sounds like. And still, once again, I feel like I have a lot of air left over to keep on talking. So, but anyway, that's pretty much it. For a beginner, you want to look out for those couple of things. You want to make sure that you use a soft, moderate amount of air. You want to be sure that you play steady, take in deep breaths, sit firmly and straight, and be confident in what you're doing. You're doing great, one way or the other. You're going to be doing great. You want to be able to feel the fingerings underneath of your fingers so that you have all the holes covered properly, and then from there you just want to become confident with the scale. And this is something that's really hard to say or even feel right about with Native American flutes because we don't think of there being scales, and certainly you can say that there is or there's not, but you need to cover and uncover the holes in order, and it's always best to practice that. I'm going to show you one other thing that may help out. If you're a beginning flute player and your flute's making kind of a weird sound and you followed all those steps that we just talked about, there may be something under the block. So untie it just as I just did, blow through, cover it back up, make sure that the edge here meets with the back edge of the sound hole. Ours always have a little stop on them, which helps out. Then cover it back up. If you take your time in tying this leather lace, or whatever it is that you've got your flute block tied on with, if you take your time with it, it'll actually look pretty nice, whereas if you're in a hurry, it may need to be looked at again later. So normally, I would suggest tightening this enough that it's nice and firm. You don't want to make it too tight or too loose. Too tight may break your leather lace that you're tying it down with. Too loose may allow air to escape out of the block. So, some things to consider anyway. So let's try it one more time. Sounds pretty good. So one last thing I want to show you, we've talked about in another beginner video, but you beginners out there wondering what you can do with that scale, this may help you out a lot. I'm going to play that same scale, just going down. I'm going to play it with a particular attack. An attack in music is the way that you pronounce the notes through the instrument. Each instrument has a different way that you attack it, and the attack is how you start your notes. So I'm going to pronounce the notes through the flute in one way, and just basically going ta 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 ta. I'm starting the air and stopping the air when I play the note. This is another way. That's starting each note, but I'm not stopping the note. I'm letting it continue on. Here's another way. In that particular method, I didn't start or stop the notes. I just started blowing, and I used my fingerings to change notes. So this is what happens when you put those three techniques, and I recommend rewinding if you didn't get them all. But this is what happens when you put these three techniques together. Play the flute with varying length notes, just playing some long and some short, and using different attacks on each. And that's really it. For some people, that would be almost a half of a song there. So you can do a lot of different things with this beautiful little instrument, and I know that all of you will do very well. If you ever have any questions or video suggestions, please make sure that you contact us. You can contact us through Facebook, which is Blue Bear Flutes or Blue Bear Arts. You can find our website, bluebearflutes.com, and of course here on YouTube. But anyway, once again, this is Charlie Mato-Toyela signing out, and happy flute playing.